Good morning, students. In this session, I am going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of preference shares. So, the next topic will be, please write, advantages of preference shares from the point of view of a company and also from the point of view of the investors, within brackets shareholders, full stop. I repeat, advantages of preference shares from the point of view of a company and also from the point of view of the investors, within brackets shareholders. Answer reference you write textbook page number 45. It is page number 45 in my textbook. So you see the page number of your textbook and write down the page number where you have advantages of preference shares. So open the bracket from advantages of preference shares. So advantages of preference shares have to be discussed from 2 points of view. First of all, we are going to discuss the advantages of preference shares from the point of view of the company which has issued the preference shares, and then we will have to discuss the advantages of preference shares from the perspective of the shareholders, that is the investors who have invested money and bought preference shares of a company. So first of all, let us see that what advantages are derived by a company if it raises capital by issuing preference shares. Number one, appeal to cautious investors. Okay, sometimes the company may find it easy to sell preference shares in the market because preference shares carry a fixed rate of dividend, and cautious and conservative investors. Who are cautious and conservative investors? Okay, investors who are looking for a safe, secured, regular and fixed rate of dividend in the form of return from the company every year. So such investors are called cautious or conservative investors. So preference shares appeal more to the cautious investors, to these investors, and they invest their money and buy preference shares of good companies with the expectation of getting that fixed rate of dividend every year from the company. Second advantage from the company's point of view, no burden on profits. No burden on profits. It means that the company is under no legal compulsion to pay that fixed rate of dividend to the preference shareholders every year if the company suffers a loss. Please remember, dividend is paid out of profits of the company. If the company suffers a loss in that particular year, the company remains under no legal compulsion to pay that fixed dividend to the preference shareholders during that year of loss. So therefore, preference shares do not create any fixed financial burden on the company. It is not like that even if the company suffers a loss, that fixed dividend to the preference shareholders, has to be paid. The number three, no interference in the management. As I have told you in one of the characteristics of preference shares before, that preference shareholders do not have any voting rights. Preference shareholders are not invited to attend the annual general meeting of the company. They cannot interfere in the management of the company and give their opinion or suggestion regarding what is to be done and what is not to be done. So preference shareholders cannot interfere, cannot poke their nose in the management of the company. The control, the management of the company remains in the hands of the directors and the major shareholders of the company. That is the equity shareholders. No charge on assets. No charge on assets. When a company raises capital by issuing equity shares, the company does not have to provide any security, in the form of fixed assets to the preference shareholders. The company does not have to provide any security to the preference shareholders in the form of certain fixed assets of the company. So no security needs to be kept for issuing for raising capital by issuing equity shares. So therefore the fixed assets of the company remain free, and the company can keep those fixed assets, use those fixed assets as security when it desires to take loans from banks and other financial institutions. Another advantage from the company's point of view is that trading on equity. What is that? See, dividend on preference shares has to be paid at a fixed rate. Okay. Now, in the years of very high profits, okay, the preference shareholders will only get that fixed amount of dividend, even in the years of high profits. So therefore, after paying the dividend, fixed dividend to the preference shareholders, a lot more profit will still remain. And in such years, it will become possible for the company to pay a very high rate of dividend to the equity shareholders and satisfy them to a great extent. So this is known as trading on equity. How to keep the equity shareholders happy, how to maximize the return of the equity shareholders, okay, even if the company has raised capital or funds from other sources. So that is known as actually trading on equity, maximizing the rate of return, rate of dividend to the equity shareholders, even if the company has acquired funds from other sources, on which the company also needs to pay some return. So that is known as trading on equity. So in the years of heavy profits, the preference shareholders are paid only that fixed amount of dividend. So after paying the fixed dividend to the preference shareholders, a lot of profit still remains, out of which the company can give very high rates of dividend to the equity shareholders. So this is known as trading on equity. So if a company raises capital by issuing some capital, by issuing preference shares, so the company has the option of exercising this trading on equity and keep the equity shareholders happy during years of high profits. So these are the advantages of the preference shares from the point of view of the company. Now next let us discuss the advantages. So you close the bracket after point number 5. Trading on equity, close the bracket after that. Number 6 is not required. Come down to the next heading and open the bracket from investors or shareholders point of view. Open the bracket from there and close the bracket after point number 4. So these are the advantages of preference shares from the point of view of the investors, that is the shareholders, the preference shareholders. So think from the perspective of a preference shareholder now. Okay, suppose you have invested some money and bought preference shares of a company. So what advantages will you derive out of this investment? Point headings are not given. I am dictating the point headings. Please write them one by one. On the left side, beside point number 1, on the left, you write regular dividend, stable and regular dividend. That is the point heading. Write small, stable and regular dividend. Investors, that is the preference shareholders, get a more stable and regular dividend before payment of equity dividend. Rate of dividend is fixed. Okay, so that is the first advantage from the preference shareholders point of view, that before any dividend can be paid to the equity shareholders in a particular year, the dividend is first paid at that fixed rate to the preference shareholders. After paying the fixed rate of dividend to the preference shareholders, if any profit still remains, then only the company can think of paying some dividend to the equity shareholders in that year. So that is the first advantage of preference shares from the investor's point of view, that they get a regular and stable dividend from the company every year. Number 2, the point heading will be lesser risks. Point heading, lesser risks. So the risk factor from the point of view of the investors in investing money in the preference shares of the company is much lesser than the risks which are involved in investing money in equity shares of the company. Okay, so the risk involved in investing money in preference shares is comparatively lesser because preference share capital is payable before equity share capital on the winding up of the company. So in this point you write about the refund of capital. So at the time of winding up of the company, when the company is getting winded up, when it is getting dissolved or liquidated, the capital which has been raised from the shareholders, so that capital is refunded to the preference shareholders first, and then if funds permit, the capital will be refunded to the equity shareholders. So that is another advantage which preference shareholders enjoy. Number 3, redeemable investment. Point heading, redeemable investment. What does it mean? That just now we discussed in our last session that preference shareholders cannot be issued for an indefinite period of time now. There cannot be any irredeemable preference shares. Once a company raises capital by issuing preference shares, a fixed term has to be mentioned on the date of issue and should be, written on the preference share certificates that the company is going to redeem the principal amount of capital, say after a fixed term, say 4 years, 5 years, okay, and that maximum term can be 20 years now. Okay, so the preference shareholders get the assurance at the time of buying the preference shares that the principal amount of investment shall be refunded, shall be redeemed by the company after a fixed period of time. And advantage number 4, in case of cumulative preference shares, the point heading write down, cumulative dividend. Point heading will be cumulative dividend. So it is only in case of cumulative preference shares. In case of cumulative preference shares, even if a company does not pay dividend in a particular year, so that unpaid dividend gets carried forward to the subsequent years, to the next year, and such unpaid dividend will be paid by the company out of its profits in the years to come. Okay, so that is another advantage which holders of cumulative preference shareholders enjoy. Holders of cumulative preference shares enjoy. So close the bracket after this. So these are the advantages of preference shares from the point of view of the company, and as well as advantages from the point of view of the shareholders, that is the investors. Okay, so if a general question comes in your examination that discuss the advantages of preference shares, see, you will write say 3 points carrying 5 marks. The question carries 5 marks. Write 3 points from the company's point of view and 2 points from the investor's point of view. And if it is a specific question, you need to write the specific points. Now let us start the disadvantages of preference shares. Let us start the discussion on disadvantages of preference shares. So write down the next topic. Write down the next topic. Disadvantages of preference shares from the point of view of a company. Disadvantages of preference shares from the point of view of a company, and also from the point of view of the investors within brackets shareholders, and also from the point of view of the investors within brackets shareholders. So disadvantages of preference shares from the point of view of a company, and also from the point of view of the investors within brackets shareholders. Answer, you study from the textbook. In my book it is pages 45 to 46. You see your edition and write the page number accordingly. Okay, so pages 45 to 46 in my edition. So disadvantages of preference shares. First of all, what are the disadvantages of preference shares from the point of view of the company which has raised capital by issuing preference shares? Number 1, it is you open the bracket from disadvantages of preference shares, underline from the viewpoint of the company, then underline costly source. So the expenses which have to be incurred for raising capital by issuing equity shares, okay, are too many. So it's a costly source of finance. Preference shares, it's a costly source of finance. A lot of expenses need to be incurred by the company for raising capital by issuing equity shares. And the expenses which are to be incurred, these costs which are involved in raising capital by issuing equity shares are higher than the cost of issuing funds by raising debentures. The number 2, permanent burden. In what sense preference shares become a permanent burden for the company? That dividend on preference shares has to be paid at a fixed rate before any dividend is paid on the equity shares, When the company incurs loss, the burden of dividend is high, especially in case of cumulative preference shares. So here you will talk about the cumulative preference shares, that why preference shares become a permanent burden on the profits of the company. This is in case of only cumulative preference shares, that in a year of loss, when a company cannot pay the fixed dividend to the preference shareholders, the cumulative preference shareholders, that dividend is carried forward. The unpaid dividend, becomes outstanding. It becomes in arrear, and that arrear dividend, that unpaid dividend, is carried forward to the next year and must be paid by the company out of the profits of the subsequent years. So in this sense, the preference shares become a permanent burden on the profits of the company. Then too many legal formalities. Next page. Redemption of preference shares involves several legal restrictions and formalities. So when the company is repaying the capital, redeeming the capital back to the preference shareholders, a lot of legal formalities and restrictions are to be complied with. Then it has a low appeal. From the company's point of view, another disadvantage of preference shares is that the preference shares as a security does not appeal much to the real investors. Who are the real investors? Investors in the real sense of the term are those people who are willing to take maximum amount of risks on their investments. Investors who are willing to take maximum amount of risks on their investments for the purpose of getting the maximum return. So they are called the real investors, investors in the real sense of the term. And it is the number of these real investors who are much more than the number of the cautious or conservative investors. So therefore, since preference shares carry a fixed rate of dividend and they don't have any right, unless of course these are participating preference shares, the other preference shareholders do not have any right to participate and get a share in the surplus profits of the company. So this security does not appeal much to the investors in the real sense of the term. Preference shares have little appeal to the investors. Cautious and conservative investors prefer debentures. Because if you are talking about cautious and conservative investors, their first option will be to invest money in the debentures of the company, because debentures carry a fixed rate of interest. We shall be discussing that topic after some time. And the company must pay interest on debentures even if it suffers a loss in a particular year. Payment of interest on debentures is compulsory, mandatory. The company must pay fixed interest to the debenture holders even if it suffers a loss in a particular year. So therefore, cautious and conservative investors will first prefer to invest money in debentures, and then they will think of investing money in preference shares. And on the other hand, risk-loving investors will definitely prefer equity shares. So preference shares lie somewhere in between debentures and equity shares, and therefore a company can raise limited funds by issuing preference shares. So therefore a company can only hope to raise limited amount of funds by issuing preference shares. So close the bracket after point number 4. So these are the disadvantages of preference shares from the point of view of the company. Now open the bracket from the next paragraph from the viewpoint of the shareholders, within brackets write investors, and close the bracket after point number 4. Close the bracket after point number 4. Now let us now see that what disadvantages preference shareholders face, what disadvantages investors face when they buy preference shares of a company. Let us now see from the perspective of the investor, from the perspective of the preference shareholders. Number 1, lack of voting rights. Already mentioned a few times before that preference shareholders are not invited to attend the annual general meeting of the company, in the normal circumstances, and therefore they don't have the right to cast votes in such meetings for taking important decisions of the company. So preference shareholders do not enjoy voting rights. And preference shareholders do not get a chance to share in the prosperity of the company except in case of participating preference shares. So in the years of high profits, except for participating preference shares, the other preference shareholders get that fixed rate of dividend even in the years of high profits of the company. So in such years, okay, the advantage is reaped by the equity shareholders of the company, because in such years, the equity shareholders get exorbitant rates of dividend from the company. Number 2, fear of being shown the door. What does it mean? That the company issues preference shares today in the year 2020, say, and it says that these preference shares will be redeemed after 3 years. The capital will be redeemed to the preference shareholders after 3 years. Now, it is quite possible that after using the capital which has been raised by issuing preference shares, say for only 2 years, if the directors of the company decide that we no longer require the preference share capital anymore, so that entire amount of capital can be refunded, can be returned to the preference shareholders the moment the directors feel like. So this is known as the fear of showing the door. Okay, so now you buy preference shares, you become preference shareholders of the company, you enjoy the right of earning that fixed rate of dividend. But even before the fixed term of redemption, if the company takes the decision to make an early redemption, the preference shareholders will be shown the door and their capital will be refunded. So holders of redeemable preference shares have to face yet another unpleasant prospect. What is that? The company raises capital from them when it is badly in need of funds. Okay, the company raises capital by issuing preference shares when it is badly in need of funds. But once its purpose is served, it bids goodbye to them by paying back their money. Okay, so that is another disadvantage of preference shares from the shareholders' point of view. Number 3, no capital appreciation. So the market prices of the shares which we see, which are quoted in the stock exchange, so these are the market prices of the equity shares of a company. Okay, preference shares are not traded freely, and preference shares are not actually listed in the stock market, stock exchange. And since they are not listed in the stock market, traded in the stock market, so we cannot understand the present market value of the shares. There cannot be any present market value of the preference shares. The market prices which we see, the market prices of the shares which we see being quoted in the stock exchange on a regular basis, these are the market prices of the equity shares of the different companies, which are being bought and sold on a regular basis, and depending on the demand and supply, their prices in the market keep on increasing or decreasing. Okay, but there is no such concept as the present market price or market value of preference shares. So therefore, there is no capital appreciation to the value of preference shares. The nominal value at which the preference shares are sold, the value remains fixed at that face value or nominal value. And the preference shareholders do not share in the prosperity of the company during the boom period. Boom period, happy days for the company. Company is earning huge amount of profits. So, but in those years also, the preference shareholders will have to make themselves satisfied by getting that fixed amount of dividend from the company. And number 4, no guarantee of dividends, unless of course these are cumulative preference shares. In the years of loss, the company may not pay the fixed dividend to the preference shareholders, because dividends are only paid out of profits. If there are no profits, if the company has suffered a loss in a particular year, that fixed dividend to the preference shareholders may not be paid at all. Only in case of this cumulative preference shares, that the unpaid dividend of a particular year will get forwarded, will be brought forward, will be carried forward to the next year. And if in the next year the company earns sufficient profits, the unpaid dividend of the previous year can be paid out of the profits of the subsequent years. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of preference shares from the point of view of the shareholders, that is the investors. Now, the next topic of discussion will be, write down and mark this topic very important, differences between preference shares and equity shares. Differences between preference shares and equity shares. Mark the topic very important. You will learn from your textbook page number 47. In my edition it is page number 47. You write the page number of your edition. Distinction between preference shares and equity shares. Open the bracket from point number 1. 12 points of difference are given in the textbook, out of which you learn at least 6 to 7. Number 1, give a tick mark, nominal value or the face value. Nominal value within brackets write face, 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 then value. Nominal value or face value. And please write the points of difference in the form of a complete sentence, not the way it is written in the textbook. I repeat again and again. So the first point to be written is the nominal value or face value of one preference share is generally high. It is usually 100 rupees or 1000 rupees. Face value, fixed value or nominal value of each preference share is generally high. Whereas the face value or nominal value of one equity share of a company is quite low. Usually it is 10 rupees per equity share. Number 2, degree of risk. It is from the point of view, degree of risk from the point of view of the shareholders. So investing money in preference shares involves lower amount of risk. Comparatively lower amount of risk is involved in investing money in preference shares. And a fixed rate of dividend assures regular and steady income. Why there is lesser amount of risk in investing money in preference shares? Because every year the preference shareholders, if the company earns profits, every year the preference shareholders will earn a fixed and stable rate of dividend from the company. But in case of equity shares, the risk involved in investing money in equity shares is very high. Equity shareholders sink and swim with the company. Please write before sink, equity shareholders sink and swim with the company. It means in the years of loss or in the years of low profits, the equity shareholders will sink with the company. They may not get any dividend at all, or they may get a very meager rate of dividend, a very low rate of dividend. But in the years of heavy profits, the equity shareholders will start swimming with the company. That means they are going to get very high rates of dividend in that particular year. Right to dividend. Number 3, please mark number 3. Here you will write preference shareholders get their dividend before the equity shareholders from the company. And under equity shares you will write like this. Please don't write in the form of a complete sentence as it is given in the textbook. You will write equity shareholders are paid dividend after the dividend has been paid to the preference shareholders. Please write in this way. Equity shareholders are paid dividend after the preference shareholders have been paid dividend by the company. Rate of dividend, give a tick mark. The rate of dividend on preference shares is fixed. Preference shares carry a fixed rate of dividend, but rate of dividend on equity shares is not fixed. It varies with the amount of profits earned by the company. Rate of dividend on equity shares is not fixed. It varies with the profits earned by the company. Number 5, return of capital. Preference shareholders get their capital back from the company before the capital is returned to the equity shareholders. Under equity shares you will write the equity capital is returned to the equity shareholders after the capital has been returned to the preference shareholders. Write in the form of complete sentences. Voting rights. Preference shares or preference shareholders have no or limited voting rights. Okay? But equity shares enjoy full voting rights. Equity shareholders enjoy full voting rights. Close the bracket after number 6. Close the bracket after number 6. Number 8 is also very important. Redemption. Okay? The capital which has been raised by a company by issuing preference shares must be redeemed, must be repaid after a fixed term. The maximum can be 20 years. The maximum term is 20 years. So within 20 years, the capital which has been raised by a company by issuing preference shares must be returned to the preference shareholders. But the capital which has been raised by issuing equity shares is irredeemable. The capital raised by a company by issuing equity shares shall only be repaid or redeemed to the equity shareholders when the company is liquidated, at the time of winding up of the company, not before that. Convertibility, you can learn this point as well. Number 9, convertibility. Preference shares may get converted into equity shares, and such shares are called convertible preference shares. There are certain preference shares called convertible preference shares which can be converted into equity shares after a certain specified period of time, but equity shareholders cannot be converted into preference shares. Equity shares cannot be converted into preference shares. So close the bracket after point number 9. So we will study points 1 to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and points 8 and 9. So please learn these points as differences between preference shares and equity shares. So only this much for this session. In our next session, I shall start with some very important topics like bonus shares, rights shares, ESOP and sweat equity shares. So these are very, very important topics which I shall be taking up in my next session. Thank you.